Here's Brody Brazil.
So what if I told you there was a stat out there that would make every hockey game you watch from here on out simply more enjoyable? And it would be simple to do, doesn't require any new technology, doesn't require any new money. It's one stat that would simply make hockey better. I would love to see it implemented at the NHL level. So what is this one stat? I'm sure you're curious. I want to keep the term shots on goal. A shot defined as a puck that would have entered the goal if not for the goaltender. It's simple. If the puck was going to hit the 4x6 of the goal mouth, that's a shot on goal. But I now also want to add a separate stat being called chances. And I would initially define that as a shot taken from an area or situation when goals are most likely to be scored. I say that's my initial definition because, quite honestly, it could change over time. It is very hard to quantify the definition of a chance, and everybody's got a little bit of a different interpretation, but I do greatly think that the term chances would enhance every hockey game you watch. It would help you get a better grasp of who actually was better in this game. Let me show you a real-life example here. Sharks had 36 shots on goal, but Calgary had 39. So you're thinking, all right, Calgary, more scoring opportunities. But let me add in the chances here. Chances favored San Jose 11-7. Maybe they won this game. I mean, how many times have we seen where the team with 25 shots had more goals and won the game versus the opposition, which had 42 shots, and they might have lost by 2 goals in the very end? This happens so frequently, it's hard to really wrap your head around the game sometimes when you see shots and goals because they don't equate. If you watch the gameplay, you understand that one team was way more dangerous with the puck. The problem with shots on goal, as we've had it now, as we've had it for many years, I mean, that stat usually does indicate who possessed the puck more in a game, right? You need to have the puck to take more shots. Simple as that. But shots don't all have an equal chance of becoming goals. However, right now, they're all measured that way. And I understand there are advanced stats sites out there that incorporate high danger chances, but I'm saying the NHL needs to adopt this as a mainstream statistic. For example, let me show you high danger chances here, and you could measure where the goals are scored from on the ice in terms of the angle, like in the slot versus more on the half wall, but also it's as simple as distance. I mean, let's start there when we quantify what is a chance versus what's not. 0 to 10 feet, 20.6% of NHL goals are scored within 10 feet of the goal mouth. Another 15% are 10 to 20 feet, and another 10% are from 20 to 30 feet. So basically, you have about half the goals in the NHL. Half of the total goals in this league are scored from within 30 feet. After that, there's a huge drop-off. From 30 to 40 feet, it goes down to 5%. Then the next 10 feet, it's 2%, and it keeps going down and down. You're thinking, obviously, those longer shots are probably one-timers. But as for distance, that's a huge part of chances. Usually, shots from closer in are going to qualify more as chances in addition to shots on goal. Then there's also this way to look at it. You have high danger chances for, that's the height on this graph, and then the width on this graph is just chances for. So from left to right, on your screen here on the far right side closest to me, you're seeing teams that put up high volumes of shots. But what you're seeing vertically here is teams that get the most chances. Now, sometimes high shots do go with high chances, but sometimes you get teams with high shots but low chances. And this is from a couple years ago. Take a team like Chicago, or I hate to even say it, a team like the Sharks. They're getting off most shots or more shots than most teams in the NHL, but they're not getting as many high danger chances for, or as I'm just calling them, chances here. Now, this was from a couple years ago, but I thought this graph really spelled it well. Sometimes they correlate, but sometimes chances are all that matters when you're talking about the opportunity to score a goal. I mentioned distance. I think geography is also an important way to maybe break this down. It's commonly referred to as the home plate area. Interesting that we're using a baseball term in hockey, but if you basically draw a shape of a home plate and you use the face-off dots and the tops of the circles and maybe even a little bit of that extended area in the slot, there's a danger area, there's a high danger area. I mean, you can pretty much anticipate that almost every shot from this area and from this distance is going to also qualify as a chance. Again, there's some gray area here. Maybe if you shoot it right at the crest of the goalie's chest on the logo there, maybe that's not as dangerous. But if it's from this distance, generally that should probably count as a chance in addition to a shot. There are other chances that I would consider. It's not just distance and angles. How about shots that include a screen out front of the goalie? Now, here's where it gets a little bit complicated, and I'll describe that in a second. Hard to maybe measure these or always see these, but shots with screens, I think, should qualify as chances. How about almost any shot on an odd-numbered rush? A 2-on-1, a 3-on-2. Aren't those usually the grade A chances that we talk about? Any puck that was redirected, you'd also have to quantify that as a chance. And maybe when you've got an extra attacker out there, should that also qualify more often than not as a chance in addition to a shot on goal when it is? This is kind of similar to basketball. There's the stat in the NBA of points in the paint. If you're not familiar, the paint is the key. That's the area closest to the basketball hoop. It's the rectangles on both sides. You have generally a much higher shot percentage in the paint than you do outside of the paint than you do on the other side of the three-point line, right? So your shot percentage usually gets much higher in the NBA. But then you get to the whole issue of, well, was the shot contested or not? Were you shooting off a pass or off a dribble? We go back to hockey. Not all shots are created equal. And I'm not saying this would be a perfect stat, but it gives us a little bit more of a grasp on which team had the better scoring opportunities in a game. What makes all of this difficult? I told you before, it wouldn't be hard to implement in terms of doing this because you don't really need new technologies. You don't need to spend any money to do this. But what makes this difficult is the human element. It's the scorer's judgment in the moment of, well, where was that shot taken? Who was out front? What was the situation like? It's similar to the hits stat in the NHL. Every scorer has a different definition of hits. Some nights between two games or between two teams in one game, there's 50 hits. Other nights, there's 20 hits. Other nights, there's 75 hits. It's crazy. Is it body contact on a player? Is it separating your opponent from the puck? What exactly is a hit? Unfortunately, there's several definitions, different definitions floating out there. So it all comes down to the scorer's judgment if we really want to get the chances stat accurate. Also, real-time tracking. Sometimes it's very difficult in the moment to capture what just happened, to record it properly. You might get 2 or 3 chances within a span of 5 to 7 seconds. So how can we do that at the speed of the NHL? And still, even chances by the end of the game does not tell 100% the story of the game. Maybe their goalie was just that good. Their goalie faced 12 chances, but only allowed 1 goal versus sometimes, 12 chances might net you 3 goals. It really depends, but I just think this is a start. This is a start in the right direction. Chances are one stat that should be simple to do. I really think this would make hockey better to watch, better to digest. At the end of a game, you say, all right, this team got outshot by 10, but they had 5 more chances, and that alone is what earned them the victory. So let me know what you think about this new stat. I mean, new mainstream stat. I feel like the NHL should put this on their front page. They should use this in a high-profile way. Let me know what you think about chances.